So now in this session we are going to understand what is an activity and how activity lifecycle works and what is an activity backstack, which helps Android operating system to load the last saved instance of an application onto the main stack. So first of all, before creating a project, we are going to understand an activity lifecycle. As far as Android application is concerned, as soon as you create an activity, your onCreate method will be called. Once onCreate method executes, your activity will be created. Then an onStart method will be executed. Once your onStart method gets executed, your application will be started. Then an onResume is executed, and finally your resumed application is visible on the content view. Okay. Once you pause this application or move out of the application, onPause will be called and your application will be paused. It will be partially visible because it will be holded into the backstack. Once you stop this application gets stopped and it gets hidden. It is not visible on the application on your content view, and you will switch to some other layout. And finally, if you close this application or you destroy this application, onDestroy will be called. It will be destroyed from the backstack as well. So let's relate what we are exactly going to understand. Let's start a new Android Studio project, and within this Android Studio project we are going to write the application and we are going to override the methods which are available in this activity lifecycle. Then we are going to understand how this application is working and what all methods are being executed. So we are going to create an activity lifecycle app. Let's go next. We are going to create an application which will run on the minimum version Gingerbread. Let's run an application. We are going to create an empty activity. Let's go next. Name of this activity will be main activity and layout name will be activity_main. We'll click on finish and a new application project will be created. Then we are going to understand how these methods work, their execution mechanism we'll understand, and then we'll understand the differences between stack and backstack. Now, once our application gets executed, onCreate method will be executed, and here in your main activity you can see that we have an onCreate method which we are overriding here. Due to override, all the statements which are created within this method will get executed. Okay. Before executing any of the statements, using this method onCreate within the superclass, which refers to AppCompat activity, we are going to check if there is a last saved instance. We are going to display that instance on screen. In case if the instance is not found, then we are going to set content view and we are going to load our layout. To do this, in Android Studio we have a feature to go to parent classes, and there we can understand what code has been written. So you can right click on Android Studio on a method whose definition you want to read. Then you can go to option, go to, and you can go to declaration. As soon as you click, you can see that we reach to onCreate method within AppCompat activity.java, which is parent class for our main activity. Within this you can see that we have an onCreate method who's going to load, who's going to receive the saved instance state which is of bundle type. Bundle actually refers to archive of heterogeneous data type in Android. Okay. In case if you want to store integer, string in one single data structure, then you can use bundle. Okay. Now you can see that we are going to call the delegate. Using this delegate, we are going to install the view factory which handle all the view controls in our Android. Then we are going to call onCreate, and whatever saved instance has been received by the backstack, that will be displayed. Okay. Now, so there will be a simple version check, and finally method will be executed. So it is also executing a method from a superclass, and if we go to this superclass, we see here, let's go to definition or declaration here. You can see that AppCompat activity has implemented fragment activity, and therein we have one onCreate wherein we are going to display the fragments. So this is how Android activity is created it inherits multiple activity methods from their parent classes. It calls the last saved instance from the backstack and it displays on your content view on your mobile phone. Now what next we need to do, let's just go to this application and we understand here how a backstack looks like. Let's say you have multiple activities in your application and you have created your activity 1 has been loaded in your app. Once your activity 1 has been loaded, let's say you have switched from activity 1 to activity 2 and the currently running activity on your mobile phone or on your content view is activity 2. So in this case, let's say if you're moving from this location to this, okay, in case if you have not called on destroy here, activity 1 will be stored in your backstack, and when you resume your application you will call activity 1 from the backstack. Okay, in case if you have destroyed your activity, then there will be nothing available in your backstack, and if you restart your application, then automatically onCreate will be called and you will load the current layout using setContentView method. Okay, so here we have a backstack in Android which keep track of the activities, and once we call the last instance state here in our activity, if we have a last saved instance state in the backstack, we will be able to call that state and we will display it on the content view. Now what we can do is, depending on your activity life cycle here, we can override all these methods here and we can understand how they are executed. So to do this, we'll go for a sample demonstration. Let's say we are going to override onStart method. Okay, we can write onStart method here, and as soon as the IntelliSense suggests us, we are going to override the method here in our application. So here you can see that we have an onStart method within the fragment. So what we can do is, we are going to override onStart method from the fragment here, and what we can do is, within every individual method we can display a toast. So once we are going to test our main activity, we will see how, in what sequence these methods are called. So what next we can do is, let's say we can go for a toast method here. Toast is a class in Android. Within this toast class we have a static method known as makeText. This static method contains 3 parameters. The first is the context in which your toast has to be displayed, and context actually wants a reference to an activity where you want to display your toast pop-up. So we are going to define that we want to display the toast in our current activity, hence we used this keyword. This refers to your main activity. So the context will be this, and here I am going to call create, let's call it as onCreate executed. Okay, and this toast I want for a long duration. So we'll go to toast.lengthLong and we are going to show our toast. So once we show our toast here, now what we will do, we are going to override this method we are going to write this method in all the overwritten methods like onStart. Let's just change the value to onStart. Okay, we have to override some other methods like, after onCreate we have got an onStart, then we are going to override onResume, onPause, onStop and onDestroy. Okay, so now what we'll do, let's override onResume. Once we override onResume here, we'll take help from IntelliSense and we are going to override the method from fragment activity. This we are going to create onPause as well. We're going to override onPause method. So what we can do is, as soon as you write onPause from the fragment activity, we're going to override onPause as well. We are going to override onStop method as well. Okay, and within onStop, after this onStop, we are going to override onDestroy method. Okay, so now what we did, we have overridden all the methods which were available in our app compat activity, And now what we are going to do, let's say we are going to display a toast in all of these methods so as to understand when these methods are being called. So now we have paused it. Okay. Now we have created for stop, and finally we are going to write a toast to destroy the application. Okay. So now we have got all the methods written. So now you can see that as far as your activity lifecycle depends, as soon as your activity loads up, first of all on create will be called, then on start, then on resume. This will be the case when your activity is created for the first time. Once your activity is resumed from the backstack, then on start will be called and on resume will be called, and you will be on the last state of your application. Okay. Others, we can do one more thing. Let's say within our design view, we are going to add one edit text as well, so that we can understand that the last stage has been loaded. Okay. So what we'll do, let the rendering library initialize. Here we have included one more method on restart, and as soon as this method gets executed, on restart will be called. Now, as soon as our application has been rendered, now what we'll do, we're going to take an edit text box here. Let's say we will take a plain text box here, and what we'll do, we are going to enter some hint here. As soon as the edit text is created, we want the width of this control to be match parent, so that it takes the complete width of its parent control, that is relative layout. Okay. Now let's call it as match parent, and once we execute match parent, now width of the control will be equal to width of the relative layout, which is your parent control here. We'll go to properties and we are going to set hint for this edit text control, and we are going to define something like enter your name. Now what we did, we have defined a hint here so that user will understand what value has to be provided to this edit text box. Now we'll save this application. We're going to generate a signed APK from this application, and the APK will be tested on our device. So let's generate a signed APK. To generate a signed application project, you have to create a key store using which you are going to sign the code, and then you're going to export your application into an APK file. So once we click here on generate signed APK, let's say we are going to create a new key store file. Let's click on new. We are going to create this key store file on the desktop directory. So we can select the desktop directory from here. We can give name. Let's say we are going to give name as ekta.jks. JKS stands for Java Key Store. We'll click on OK. Then we have to provide a password to this key store file, because this signature is important and it ensures security of your application from malwares. Okay. Now, so what we have to do, we are going to set a password. Let's say we are going to set an alphanumeric password, that's ABCDE12345. We are going to confirm the password ABCDE12345. Alias name is, let's say, Hackweather. It could be a company name or anything else. Let's say we are going to set the same password ABCDE12345 here. Then we are going to set minimum validity for digital signature is for 25 years. We are going to set name of the developer. Let's say it's Ekta Patel. Let's say your organization. Let's say your company name or whatever it is. Then you can see something like city, location, and country code is 91. Now a digital signature has been created. Once the digital signature has been created, now what we'll do, we're going to sign our application with this digital signature. So once you have created your digital signature, you can use this digital signature with any of the applications. Okay. Let's click on next. We are going to confirm the password, that is ABCDE12345. Then now our application will be exported in the directory C drive activity lifecycle app. Let's click on finish, and at the bottom here Gradle build will be running, and it will compile your application into an APK file. Once the APK file is ready, we are going to test that on our device. So now what we have is, within our project directory, within app, we have got our APK file generated. Let's rename this APK file into act life, let's say activity lifecycle. We're going to copy this application on our mobile device, and we are going to test this application on this Android device here. So in order to install it, we can install this application using ADB as well, but at the moment I don't have drivers available for this mobile phone on my computer. So I'm going to use the SD card feature. I'm going to mount my SD card on computer, and I'm going to copy my APK file into this. Okay. So let's say we'll go to this option, connect USB as a storage device. We are going to turn on USB storage. We'll ask to enable that USB storage. Once the USB storage is mounted, we'll get that access here, and then we are going to copy our application activity actlive.apk into that device. So it's mounted now. We'll continue without scanning. We're going to open the folders, and I'm going to paste the application here. Okay, so I need some space on the device. So let's paste that. And once the application is pasted, you can see that we have got actlive.apk here. We'll go to our Android device. We're going to turn off USB storage. And now in File Manager, we can go to File Manager here. On your File Manager, we can search for our application within our phone memory. We can go down here, and now we have to search for the app actlive.apk. So here we have the application actlive.apk. Let's run this application. We are going to install application using this package installer. It is asking to install the application. Let's allow an install. Once the application is installed, now we are going to run the application, and we are going to understand how it is done. So at the moment, let's just press done. Go to your menu screen, and on the menu screen here you can see that we have got an application known as Activity Lifecycle app. Okay, once you click on the application here, at the very bottom you will be able to see that on create executed, then on start executed, and finally your on resume executed. So Toast displayed that all these three applications, all these three methods executed. And now what we'll do, let's say at the moment, if I type in something like a name here, okay, what we can do is, we have activity 1 and it is running on the content view at the moment. If we press home screen and we come out of the phone, and if we resume our application, at the moment you can see that at the bottom on pause and on stop executed as soon as you came out of your application. If you go to your application again, clear? So now at this moment on restart executed, then on start gets executed, and finally your on resume will execute, and you will get the same content which was pre-written on your application again with the help of your backstack. But in other case, let's say if we press back button twice and we came out of the application, so let's say I did this. So at this stage, first of all on pause executed, on stop executed, and on destroy will get executed. So once it is destroyed, now there is nothing in the backstack available. So if you restart your application again, so at this moment again your on create will be called, and whatever data you had in your application has been removed. So this time a new instance has been created and it has been displayed on your content view. So this is how activity lifecycle works, and later we proceed to approaches and Android application development.